I'm so tired, guys. It's Thursday, October 10, and we're back home, and I'm just exhausted still. In this video, I'm going to be talking about my race. So yes, I did a race last weekend in France. We went to southern France to this challenge race that is really hard to pronounce because I don't speak any French, but it's either VIEUX BOUCAU or VIEUX BOUCAU or something. So I did a challenge middle distance race last weekend, and yeah, I'm going to do a little race recap. So I'm just finishing up a little 2-hour spin on the trainer, and after this I will tell you all about this trip. Okay, hi. So I lied when I said that I was gonna do the race recap after my ride. So this is 2 days later. So I can't remember what happened after the ride and why I couldn't film right after, but now I have time. So I just came home from the pool. So both pools in my town, so we have 2 pools in this town, both are closed at the moment. One is closed the entire year until next summer, and the other one got closed because of some leak until the end of October. So I had to go to the town next to this town, which is about 20 kilometers away, to swim. So I literally just got home. I'm really tired and I have a little bit of a head cold. So I'm just trying to keep this really short, but also provide all the important information. So yeah, so we went to southern France for a challenge middle distance race. We traveled kind of in 2 parts. We went to Helsinki the day before. So this was Tuesday, October 1st. And then we stayed there overnight, and then we had a super early morning flight at 6:40 a.m. or something from Helsinki to Bordeaux. And then from Bordeaux, we rented a car and then drove 2 hours down to VIEUX BOUCAU or View. I don't know how to say it, but you get the point. We had some issues with the rental car. Also, the super early time of traveling, that was pretty tough. But we finally got there, and it was pouring rain, and we had no idea what to expect from the town. So that was just kind of like we just literally I decided to race literally a week before the race. I decided that we're going, and I signed up and we booked the tickets and got the Airbnb and stuff. So we got there. I did a pre-race swim a couple of days out. There was not enough water in the lake and there's a lot of seaweed, but I had a pretty decent swim. And then that was Thursday evening when we did a little bike ride. So first it took us forever to get my bike put together. There was a lot of trouble with that too. And then we did a little bike ride, and I had a little weird sensations in my legs, but I was just kind of well, maybe I'm just tired from the travel and dehydrated still and everything. But then this is Friday morning, so the day before the race, I was supposed to do an hour run with some pickups. And during the first 10 minutes, I started feeling the bad cramps that are related to whatever muscle condition I am having. And then I totally like cramped up. So I was able to run like about 2.5 Ks, and I couldn't keep running anymore. It was so painful. So then Robert and I just walked around the lake, which was the running course. So the run was 4 laps around the lake. So we just walk around it. It took us almost an hour, like 50 minutes or something. And then after that, my legs felt better, like just kind of like surprisingly. So then I managed to finish off the run, which was really weird. But then I was supposed to only run that day, but because I was nervous about the cramps, we decided that I should keep active and do an hour bike ride, because it seems like when I taper down the activity too much, I get these symptoms. So we just decided that it might be worth it of like having a little bit more fatigue in the legs. It's not ideal for the race, but if I don't get the cramps as a result, that would be much better. So I did an hour bike ride, and I did get cramps during that too, but I thought that maybe I'm gonna be able to work through them, and that will kind of like break up the legs and like whatever is happening, and maybe like the race morning I won't have the cramps. But I could not sleep that night. I was so stressed out that I would get the cramps, and then that I wouldn't be able to start. We decided that I'm going to do a little bit longer running warm-up than usual, just because of the cramping issue. And then a little bit of swimming, because it was super cold. It was like less than 10 degrees Celsius the morning of the race. So we decided that it's better to do like a more proper land warm-up and then some swimming and then race. The swim course was a little interesting. I've seen a lot of discussion about this in social media, also in other YouTube channels, about how the swim start was a little bit of chaotic and unfair for some people in both men's and women's races. And I was one of those people who were in disadvantage. So the start line was facing like forward, but the first buoy was kind of like way off the start line to the left. So some people decided to run parallel to the beach and then directly to the buoy, and then some people swam like diagonally to the buoy, and I was one of them who took the longer way. So we were already at disadvantage at the beginning, but I was quite happy with my swim, to be honest. I was like actually in it. I had still a little bit of like difficulty of sighting properly, and especially because there was an Aussie exit. That was my first time doing it actually. And there was one girl who was going there kind of in front of me, but she was definitely going like more towards the start than the Aussie exit that was more on the left side of the beach. And I was like watching her, and I was getting like kind of like, am I going the wrong way? And I kept like getting my head up and looking, and I was like, am I like, should I follow her or should I just like swim the way I think is the right way? So that cost me a little bit of time, but I think there is a lot of progress from my last attempt of racing. So I think I'm not that far off from like kind of like, I don't know, being more competitive. So I think I had some girls behind me after the swim. I passed 2 girls at transition, and then I think I started the bike at like I was within top 10. I'm not sure if I was like just 10th or 9th or something. I think I passed like 4 girls during the bike. I was riding really well. I was happy with my power. It was the highest 70.3 bike power I've ever done, despite getting lost on the course twice. So this course is really interesting because it wasn't a closed course. There was just a lot of traffic, cars just passing us literally like all the time, and also that really influenced the race dynamics because when you're not in the lead, you don't get the motorbike, and like it was like a little annoying because the leaders definitely got more like the traffic was like kind of aware of them and then not passing them because they had the leader bike there. And then also like they got to draft like I swear, like you can say whatever you want, but they get the advantage if they have the motorbike in front of them. And then cars, yeah, notice them better. So definitely like a couple moments where I was a little nervous that like I was gonna ram into a car, and also like just some moments where I was like about to pass or go for a pass, and then a car just like, you know, passes me in front of me, like between like me and the cyclist that I was gonna go and pass, and then slows down because there are like speed bumps and stuff. And then a couple times an official like directed me and a car to the wrong way, so I turned to the wrong direction twice during this course, and I had to like completely stop and like once unclip and then turn around. And that was just like after I had just passed two women, and so I had to like go dead stop, turn around, and then pass them again, which obviously like burns a lot of energy. So yeah, it was quite frustrating, but I think the most frustrating thing was that at the beginning of the bike, like the first 10k, I had a little bit of a cramp in my quad, and I was nervous that was gonna be it for me, but I managed to work through them, and I managed to like do the race without more cramping. But I think I didn't drink enough during the bike ride, so I was able to consume enough calories, I think, but my hydration wasn't enough, and that was also because there was not enough aid stations, and they were placed kind of in a weird way where there was just like not I didn't get the opportunity to grab any bottles because they were not placed like strategically in a spot where I could like go in there with like the right speed to grab a bottle. So that kind of failed me, and I noticed that when I started the run that I was so dehydrated that I didn't have the legs to run at my normal pace. So that was disappointing. So I started the run with another woman who came in transition about the same time as me, and I was up at like 7th place at that moment. But then I didn't have the running legs, so I started the run with her, but I soon realized that I just couldn't match her pace, and the run was just really painful. I was suffering, like I couldn't go faster, but I also like, yeah, I just tried to keep going. And after the first lap, I decided that I'm going to walk through 8 stations just to get enough fluids in me to be able to finish the run. So there was 2 8 stations each lap, so I just tried to keep running in between them, walk 8 stations to get water, get some Red Bull, and then just keep running again. So like 2 laps I did that, drank water, kept going, just kept dumping water on me. And at that point I was like too far away from the runners in front of me, but also the gap behind me was also huge, so I was like not worried about that. So I finished 8th, and I honestly cried at the finish because it was just like emotionally very it was emotionally a lot, for multiple reasons. Well, one reason was that the day before the race I literally got the cramps, and I was worried about it, and it was emotionally very consuming, and I felt really proud of myself for like still putting myself in the race and like doing my best even though things were not going well for me. And also secondly, like that was my first race I was able to finish after my accident, so it just like I felt really proud of myself for fighting back and everything. But the biggest thing right now is that this muscle condition is really taking a lot out of me, physically and emotionally. It's hard to prepare for these events and have something that is like consuming so much energy. And we are working to find an answer. I had an EMG and then the MRI, and now I'm just waiting for my next doctor's appointment and possibly a biopsy. But there is clearly something wrong with me. I'm not denying that, and also I'm not like using that as a crutch. I'm just saying that it's very challenging because you work so hard and put so much effort in something, and it's just hard when literally the day before the event things go wrong. And yeah, you're just constantly worried if your body's gonna work for you or if it's gonna work against you, and it's not easy. Excuse me. Yeah, so was happy with my 8th place, even though 8th place is not like, it's not amazing. And also like obviously I won podiums and I know I'm capable of getting podiums, but I just have to be realistic right now with my health and where I'm coming from. So yeah, I didn't want to tell anyone about this race before, mainly because of these health struggles, and if I like I was worried that I couldn't finish the race or even start the race, I guess, and that would be too devastating if I had already like been excited and celebrated and loud about it that I'm racing. So that's kind of why I kept silent about it. So then after the race, the next day we did a pretty cool hike. We drove a little bit down south towards Spain and we did a really cool hike. It was super epic and a fun recovery day activity. It was nice not to travel immediately the day after the race, so it was like sweet to stay there for another day. I don't know which way we go. Then Monday, October 7th was the travel home day, and it was so exhausting. Like, it seemed easier, but it definitely was not. So we drove back to Bordeaux, then flew to Paris, and then in Paris we had like a 3-hour or something layover, and then we had the longer flight to Helsinki, which landed about 11:30 p.m. and then we were so lucky to get a ride home that night, so thank you for that, Jonne. But it was exhausting. We got home like 1:30 a.m. on Tuesday, and I slept in. Luckily, like I still got like 7 hours of sleep, but I've felt terrible since that day all week. And then I got this head cold as a result, so I kind of expected that I might be getting sick after being so tired all week, and that happened. So that's pretty unfortunate, but luckily this isn't that crazy. Like I just had a little bit of like scratchy throat for a couple of days, and then now a little bit of sniffles, but hopefully this is nothing major. I signed up for 70.3 Portugal next week, but I just took my name out of the start list because basically like this travel took a lot out of me, and now I'm a little sick and I haven't really like done any proper training all week, so it took me longer to recover from the race. So, and also financially, this past weekend's trip took a lot out of us. So yeah, I'm not financially capable of doing 2 races now back to back, so I'm gonna have to save up a little bit of money and do some training. So I'm excited to get back in some routine and do some training, and hopefully also within a month or so we get more answers about my condition and can find ways to manage it a little bit better. But now my next plan is to race the 70.3 Bahrain Middle East Championships in November, end of November. So I really still want to race at least once this year, and there's not that many opportunities, to be honest, for professional athletes. It sucks because last weekend I was so happy to be back out there and racing, and I felt like this is what I'm supposed to be doing. So having these struggles, it just sucks, but it gave me some validation that I'm not done yet, and this is what I want to do. And I'm gonna make it work. Wow, sorry, it's emotional. But yeah, I'm gonna make it work. Thanks for watching.